happened last night, I'm gonna let that shit slide, all right?
Okay.
You don't need to speak to her no more.
I don't want to speak to her no more.
All right, so don't let it happen, all right? And then we ain't gonna have no problems.
Listen,
all right?
Tell her to stop saying the shit that she says.
No, she can say whatever she want to say.
Not to me, though.
Hold on.
Not to me.
No, she said whatever she want to say.
How do you want me not to talk to her and then she can say shit to me?
I'm telling
you. Does that make sense to you?
If she says something to you, you address me. You don't speak to her.
Shaq ain't gonna let nothing pop out. No, but I just need you to stay with me. Shaq ain't finna let shit pop out.
You tell her. Don't be coming at me with the crazy shit.
I'm telling you.
And I would, if she come at me with the crazy shit,
hold on. I'm telling you some shit right now. I know about the past, right? I ain't gonna
you know
fight
her
the past.
side of the past.
Tell me something different then. Tell me something different.
You gonna find out.
Tell me something different.
You gonna find out.
You don't want to find out.
What don't I want to find out? Listen, I'm a doctor, bro. I ain't got time to be fighting with people who coming up and me talking, sending like veiled threats. I don't have time to fight you or anybody else.
I ain't making no threats.
Anybody else.
Making no threats.
I just hope she takes her.
I ain't making no threats.
I hope you sweep her off her feet.
I ain't making no
sweep her
threats.
as far as you can sweep her, bro.
Bruh.
Look, I got no words for her.
I said one thing.
But tell her to stop saying shit about
you
me.
ain't got no words, we good.
Man,
all right?
Man, what, man?
All right.
Who you think you're talking to, bro?
Man, I'm talking to you, motherfucker. What you gonna do? No, we don't need you in here.
I think you like that, because I know how your girl is. So I figured you like that. Think you that's what you want to do.
Oh, shit. No.
No. What you talking about?
That's how they roll. Oh, hell no.
Quad Webb is no stranger to drama. If you've watched Married to Medicine, then you know she's dealt with messy relationships, heated arguments, and everything in between. But nothing could have prepared her or us for this shocking twist. Her boyfriend, Anthony King Morrison, just got caught up in a massive luxury car theft ring. And we're not talking about a random car or two. This operation included high-end vehicles like Lamborghinis, Porsches, and even a Rolls-Royce. And here's the wildest part, that Rolls-Royce? Authorities say it was being stored at Quad's own house.
Teamwork makes the dream work, and in most cases it does.
But in this case,
it's gonna be some shit.
This isn't just some minor issue or misunderstanding. According to federal investigators, King Morrison was part of a large organized crime ring that focused on stealing expensive cars from dealerships all across Georgia. They were using fake identities, forged documents, and all kinds of tricks to pull it off. And King wasn't just tagging along court documents, show he was heavily involved. Before the flashing lights, sirens, and court cases, King had already built up quite an image for himself. On the outside, he looked like the perfect boyfriend. He drove flashy cars, wore expensive designer clothes, attended elite parties, and posted pictures from private jets. His Instagram was full of luxury and style. He made himself look like a successful businessman who had built his empire from the ground up. People believed him because the lifestyle looked real. He played the part perfectly, always showing off money, always traveling, always living large. You know, the type, one phone in his hand, a glass of champagne in the other, posing like he owned the entire city. But behind the pictures and the filters, there was something much more complicated going on. It turns out, much of that luxury wasn't even real. The cars? Many weren't his. The money? Well, now we know where it might really come from. King had created a fake version of himself online, while secretly running a criminal operation in the background. His entire image was just smoke and mirrors. The whole thing started to unravel when authorities began investigating a stolen Rolls-Royce, a car that costs more than some houses. These cars are not the kind you just take and drive away unnoticed. So when that Rolls disappeared and the GPS suddenly went offline, it raised red flags immediately. That's when the investigation got serious. The stolen car triggered a deep dive into a larger crime network. And guess whose name kept popping up? According to the reports, this wasn't a one-time deal or some small scam. It was a full-blown operation. The group would lease luxury vehicles using fake names or borrowed identities, never return them, and then either resell them or move them across state lines. Sometimes, the GPS trackers would be removed or disabled so the cars couldn't be traced. They even altered documents to make the cars look legit. It was all carefully planned and extremely professional. And King? He wasn't on the sidelines. Investigators say he was right in the middle, helping to plan, coordinate, and carry out these thefts.
Probably is a lot for him to see me being happy and have a handsome man who's young and strong. And should I not be allowed to say those things because my ex-husband is sitting here with his new wife? Nobody didn't have that type of grace for me when they was parading around.
Eventually, everything caught up to him. Police had enough evidence to arrest King, and he ended up in handcuffs, not because he posted too much on Instagram, but because he played a major role in one of the most sophisticated car theft rings Georgia has seen in years. That luxurious life he portrayed online turned into a legal disaster almost overnight. The photos, the trips, the glam, it all came crashing down the second the truth came out. But the biggest shock wasn't just what he did. It was who else was dragged into it, Quad. Now, here's where things get even more dramatic. Once King was arrested and the story hit the news, everyone started asking the same questions. What did Quad know? Was she involved? Or was she just an innocent woman who got fooled? Quad is a public figure. She shares a lot of her life online and on television. But as soon as the scandal broke, she went completely silent. That sudden quiet had fans wondering if maybe she was hiding something. According to sources close to her, Quad had no idea about King's criminal activity. In fact, there are rumors that King used her name and reputation to make himself look more trustworthy. When you're dating someone famous, people tend to give you more credit than you might deserve. And King knew that. There's talk that he would mention Quad's name to open doors, make business connections, and boost his image. By associating himself with a reality star who had fans and a platform, he made himself seem more legitimate. People assumed that if someone like Quad was dating him, he must be successful. That's where it starts to get really shady. It's one thing to date someone and get tricked. It's another thing for them to use your name to run their illegal business. For a while, Quad kept quiet. No interviews. No social media posts. She even deleted every photo of King from her Instagram. But when she finally broke her silence, she didn't hold back.
Oh, they said you're going to jail, baby. Why? Why would he do
What am I going to
that?
jail for?
No, don't try to put my
Yeah, I'm
baby
going
in
to jail for
jail.
an argument.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right.
That's done, honey. King called down to the police precinct, child. They said that was ridiculous and they cannot file any charges. So, people say anything. Anything, don't, and y'all run with it. Don't run with it, baby.
Was
Gotta
I
check
banned
into
from
it.
the show?
So here's the thing in reference to the show. What happened with that after what we saw on the sandbar? My ex, his ego was stepped on, and so he wanted to get one up on us, and so he decided that he wanted to go to the network and complain and go to the police department and try to quote unquote file some charges. And so for the moment, until we were done investigating, they had said that King can film, but he could not film with the rest of the group at that time. But he could, of course, we have our own personal story, so he could continue to film with.
She didn't go on a media tour or release a long PR statement. Her words were personal and emotional. She said she was devastated not just because of the embarrassment, but because someone she trusted had been lying to her all along. She made it clear she had no knowledge of King's crimes and found out the same way the rest of the public did through the news. Quad admitted she felt betrayed, manipulated, and used. And she wasn't just talking about the emotional side. She said that King not only tricked her, but also shaped the public's perception of their relationship in a way that wasn't real. Some say she even showed up briefly at one of King's early court hearings, not to support him, but to see for herself what had happened. Reports say she kept a low profile, stayed only for a short time, and avoided cameras. But her presence said it all. She was ready to face the truth and move on. Things took another strange turn when King's legal team came up with a surprising defense. Instead of fully denying his role, they tried to argue that he was being used too. According to them, King wasn't the mastermind, he was being manipulated by people higher up in the scheme. And here's the twist, they claimed those people may have intentionally used his connection to Quad to help cover their tracks. The defense argued that being involved with a celebrity like Quad made King look clean, which helped the criminals behind the scenes hide their activity more easily. They said King was so wrapped up in the lifestyle and the relationship that he didn't even realize he was part of something bigger. Now, whether that's true or not, we don't know. The court didn't fully buy that story, but it definitely made people think twice. Was King really the brains behind the operation, or was he being pulled into it by more powerful people who saw his relationship with Quad as a convenient cover? Either way, the damage was done. When it was time for the verdict, the court didn't hold back. King was found guilty of multiple serious charges, including grand theft auto, wire fraud, and conspiracy. The prosecution laid out everything from when the cars were first reported stolen to how they tracked the vehicles, followed the money, and found the connections back to King. The most damning evidence included fake documents, messages between King and his accomplices, and proof that he helped move and sell the stolen cars. The stolen Rolls-Royce wasn't just a one-time thing, it was part of a much larger pattern.
Can I put you guys on pause for just a second? Let me tell you something. I have never laid with a married man. And in this married man that they're speaking of, I hired him to work for me. And I do have audio to prove who really slept with the man. Don't test me.
Next season.
Wait a minute. Watch this. Wait a minute, sweetheart. Wait a minute. So along with the polygraph test, if I need to, there is audio. And I've already checked with the attorneys in Georgia. I can run it.
In the end, the judge sentenced King to significant prison time. It was a major fall from grace for someone who had once lived like a king, no pun intended. Now that the court case is over, the focus has turned back to Quad. She wasn't charged with anything, but that doesn't mean the public has moved on. Some fans are fully in her corner. They believe she was completely blindsided and deserved support, not judgment. Tweets and comments poured in, saying things like, "Leave Quad alone. She didn't do anything wrong, and she's always carried herself with grace." But not everyone is being kind. Others are questioning how she could live with someone and not know about his illegal activities. A few blogs have even speculated that companies might start pulling away from her quietly to avoid controversy. So far, there's no confirmation that any of her partnerships have ended, but her image has definitely taken a hit. And fans are wondering what this means for her future on Married to Medicine. Bravo is known for loving drama. It boosts ratings after all. But when real-life scandals get this serious, it can become a problem. Some insiders believe Bravo might use the drama as part of the storyline. Others think Quad may want to step back, take a break from the cameras, and rebuild her life privately. Either way, this situation has forced her into a spotlight she didn't ask for. Here's the part that's really blowing up online. Some fans believe this goes way deeper than just stolen cars and a lying boyfriend. There are rumors floating around that King might have been planted in Quad's life on purpose. According to some theories, someone from Quad's past, or even someone from the Married to Medicine cast wanted to bring her down. If you've watched the show, you know not everyone has been on her side. There's been drama, jealousy, and plenty of arguments. So when the scandal broke, fans immediately started connecting dots. Some say an old enemy could have tipped off the media, or even the authorities, to make sure Quad got dragged into the mess. Others think a former friend or business rival saw a chance to ruin her reputation and took it. None of this has been proven, but the timing is suspicious. The story blew up, just as Quad was stepping back into the spotlight. It definitely has people asking if this was all a horrible coincidence or something planned. So what do you think? Was Quad simply a woman who fell for the wrong guy? Or was there more going on behind the scenes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this crazy story.